It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we dive into a vitally important financial discussion right now. I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm speaking to you. Protecting our financial future starts with taking action. Well, probably yesterday, but today will do just right. Anticipating and mitigating for potential financial uncertainties like illness, like death, like disability, all the things that we don't want to think about, but have to. It ensures a secure future for ourselves and, most importantly, our loved ones. And all of this can be achieved through thorough estate planning. And joining us this morning to take us through some of the steps that we need to take is a seasoned financial planning consultant from Alexforbes. Please welcome Sally Peterson. And I was joking with you earlier that these are the tough ones. These are the conversations people don't want to have until that moment arrives. And then you realize that you just don't have what you need in place. So maybe let's start with that line, because this is quite a big thing. How crucial is having disability, having life cover, funeral benefits, overall financial planning when it comes to those bigger, darker moments? Why is it so important to have that in place before those gateways arrive?
So the assurance benefits that you've just highlighted are indeed quite pivotal in protecting and preserving your finances and also your earning potential as well.
For sure.
So when it comes to wealth, most of the time when people think about wealth, they think about how it can be created. So it's a case of what line of work can I be in so that I earn the big bucks? And then when they're making the money, it's more of a case of where can I invest that? Should I buy these shares, that property, and etc. Along the way, they're going down this journey, making all these wonderful plans, but they never stop to think about these real risks of falling severely ill, disability, or even suffering an untimely death, any of which can actually occur at any stage in your life. And it can obviously completely derail your goals and objectives.
It changes everything.
Exactly, yes. So that is why it's so important to have these assurance benefits in place, so that in the event that you should face these risks, then it would end up being a case where you are actually cared for and your loved ones can be financially supported, even if you are not able to do so.
That's, I think, when you mentioned the loved ones, and this is where, because it is a very emotional conversation, so I'm sure you deal with people in all sorts of different mindsets, especially when it comes to a will. Why is it so important to have a will in place, and what does that process look like?
It's essentially the foundation of your estate plan, and it's there to speak for you when you are not able to do so. Anyone that's over the age of 16 and has possessions and assets of value should effectively have a will in place. And when it's done right, it will essentially ensure that your assets can be distributed in line with your interests and also in line with the way that you would have wanted it to play out.
The vision, yeah.
Essentially, yeah. You can also make allowance for your burial instructions, who should look after your minor kids.
I'm sure you've encountered many moments that have reinforced why this is your purpose, why you are out here speaking to this truth. What are some of those big moments that you can recall of when not having the right cover, what that can lead to, and possibly having the right cover, how much of a difference that can make?
Well, there's one instance that comes to mind. So there's this client that I assisted. He had just been retrenched from his employer, lost his job, and initially I worked with him in terms of preserving his retirement savings. And then I informed him afterwards that there was group life assurance that he had to his employer fund, which if he did nothing, it would fall away, but he had the option to convert it to his personal capacity. And he listened to the reasoning and he took up the advice and ended up taking up the option. So the policy was set to start about 6 weeks after the application that we concluded. Would you believe that a week before he was supposed to make that first payment, he passed away?
Wow.
But yet, because we implemented that cover, he still ended up, or his family at least, still ended up receiving the benefit thereof. And that was just under R1 million in excess that was paid over and above the savings that we had already preserved. So, I mean, his family obviously still needed to deal with the emotional loss, the trauma thereof. But at least from a financial standpoint, it illustrates how these benefits, if done right, can mitigate the financial loss.
What you're talking about is legacy for me. That really,
100%.
It makes all the difference. What advice do you have for people wanting to take this brave step?
This whole idea of risk and estate planning, it is a very morbid topic to approach, because you have to put up with these morbid thoughts of I could become severely ill, disabled, and then there's my eventual death. And I mean, it's also negative. But what I would advise people to do is to still apply themselves So they should still seek out professional assistance, get that support, and actually take the steps necessary to make sure that sufficient provision is in place if these risks were to play out.
Because then you can think about the positive. You can think about your child. You can think about your partner having that. That's a part of you that they get to have that represents you. How can Alexforbes and a financial advisor, someone sitting on your side of the table, help us take those first steps?
That's the thing. Our team of advisors at Alexforbes are suitably skilled and have the necessary expertise to be able to do holistic financial planning for any clients. And when it comes to estate planning specifically, they will develop a deep understanding of your last wishes and provide you with the necessary advice needed so that you can have the legacy that's left behind that you would love to have and that you would intend.
Absolutely love this team. Protect your financial future and invest in yourself by investing in the resources available to you right now. Consultations with an Alexforbes financial advisor are free. They are ready to take that first step. You can sign up today at alexforbes.com and take that first step to secure your future and, in my case, most importantly, your legacy for your family.